Hello, everyone. Well, welcome to my stream. Sorry for the brief few seconds of a stream that I had last time, but I just realized that none of the information got set up properly in the my streaming software. But welcome. Today, I'm planning on going through the Genshin Impact Archon quest, which is essentially their version of a mainline story. Today, so. For those who don't know, Genshin Impact is a third-person action adventure RPG game where you have a team of 4 characters and you can rotate between different that have all different kinds of weapons and elements, and you use them in combination with one another to defeat your opponents. You can also solve puzzles and you try to adventure throughout the world in this game. So. I do hope that you enjoyed today's stream. If you do have any questions, just feel free to pop into the chat as I just kind of mosey on about. Okay, so let's get on over to Genshin Impact. Okay, Gotta love the loading screen. So today, just to kind of give an update of what I've done today, folks, I walked roughly about 18,000 steps today, walking from my apartment up to a nearby hill and then back down. My feet are incredibly sore, and to treat myself, I am having a top sirloin stir fry mix that's from Sprouts. Very delicious. Okay. I'm also spoiling myself with the Mountain Valley sparkling water. I know, I'm a little bougie. I have to get glass bottles now. I don't know what's wrong with me. But it tastes really good. I don't know if it's from the carbonation or just the water quality is just that much better, but I thoroughly enjoy the taste of it. Man, I should have probably loaded this up before I actually logged in. Holy moly. Here we go. Now why? Oh, there we go. Nobody can go in. Right, let's head over. So, I have already completed the regions of Liyue, Inazuma, and Mondstadt. I'm still having to discover some of the underground zones in Azuma, but for the most part, I've completed the exploration of Dragonspine in Mondstadt. I've completed the exploration in the chasm, and I've also done the interlude quest that takes place in the chasm, which was actually quite phenomenal, and I really enjoyed it. I kind of wish the only thing I would kind of wish about this game that you could do is replay story quests, but I can also understand why that'd be a little complicated and a little rough to do, but I would personally find it really fun to do something like that. Also, even though I've fully discovered the world. I have not actually interacted with the Dendro Archon's stat. So maybe to give the preface to someone who's coming into this game. So when you first start up the game, you're given a choice to select between two characters, a boy and a girl, and they're like these interdimensional travelers, whatever have you, and they kind of go in between worlds, and they kind of get stuck on this planet called Tibet. So at the very beginning of the game, you choose either the boy or a girl because they're like twins, and what happens is your twin, which twin you select becomes the twin that becomes your playable character. So this is the boy character. I believe his default name is Ether, which is inspired by the Roman deity Ether, or Greek deity. I can't remember if it was Roman or Greek, or which spelling it is, even though they probably have similar functions in their respective pantheons. But essentially, it's the Roman deity, I believe, that's Kairos, which is the Roman deity of the sky. I believe this is more like daylight. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. My Roman ability is just failing me right now. But let's see. But essentially, so the only unique thing about the character that you select is that you can go to these little, what they call shrines of seven, which represent the 7 nations of this world, Tibet, and you can essentially, each region has a local god called an Archon, and each Archon has their own element and set of powers, and the traveler can kind of take on a version of those powers while you're playing the game. So right now, my traveler is kitted out with the Electro kit, which in this game is kind of represented with the color purple. And this powers are more so to kind of help generate the energy of the other team members. So, for instance, so each character has a skill and a burst. So a skill has a pretty quick cooldown. This is your skill button. It's usually pretty quick, and it's usually an attack infused with an elemental source of something. So this character, Dean, he is a pyro character who wields a claymore, which is why his sword is huge. The traveler, in his electro form, he throws out 3 electrical blades, but when they make contact with an enemy, they leave around little pieces, in which whatever character you're playing, their little energy bar for the elemental burst will fill up quicker. And the little burst is the little icon that's showing up right above my head a little bit, because I'm kind of covering the E and Q keys, the hot button here, which kind of show how full your burst is and whatnot. So, in the nation, the quest that I'm doing today is in a nation related called Sumeru, which is kind of inspired by Mesopotamia, India, and the Middle East, as with the music. There you go. So these little things right here that pick up. So my character is kind of there's a certain amount of energy that needs to be stored in a character before they can unleash their burst. And in order to unleash the burst, so when you have the Traveler's Kit that I currently have does is it helps fill up that burst meter quicker whenever he uses his skill. So in a way, it's kind of, you can say that he's kind of like a battery for the team. But the Traveler's Burst himself is he essentially, when he activates it for a short period of time, he will infuse whoever the active character on the field is with, whenever they strike with a normal strike, which is just your regular attack, that will summon down a light thunderbolt, which is pretty neat. So when you use it with someone like D-Luke here, who's a fire or pyro character, that will essentially make he uses his burst, which infuses his attack with flames. He essentially creates an unstoppable balance of what they call overload, which is one of the elemental reactions in the game. And essentially, a lot of the game building in this game is trying to build up. The best way to deal damage is try to get us in a lot of these elemental combos in conjunction with one another. Okay, so I guess we start in this log. So here we go. Force of change, continue through the forest. Okay. So I kind of did this backwards, I suppose. And whoops. And that over there on the right is the statue of Sumeru.
Now that we made it to Sumeru, our next objective should be to head to Sumeru City and find a way to meet with Lesser Lord Kusanali. And speaking of Lesser Lord Kusanali, even though we haven't heard too much about her, she doesn't seem to be the same deity who abducted your sister. But even so, people call Sumeru the Nation of Wisdom, you know. If we can get a chance to meet the God of Wisdom, maybe she can give us some useful information. But, Paimon doesn't know the way to Sumeru City. Maybe we can climb up to that spot with the statue of the Seven on it. That'll give us a way better view of things. Even if we can't see exactly where the city is, at least we'll be able to check for some smaller settlements nearby. Wait a second. Look! There's someone up ahead! Perfect timing! Now we can just ask for directions rather than wander around like lost adventurers. Hey there! We're not from around here and seem to have gotten a little lost. We'd like to ask for some directions. Huh? Did they not hear Paimon? Hey! You over there! Could you give us some directions? Huh? What's going on here? There's no way she could have missed that. Oh, wait! Could she be ignoring us? How dare she?
The only thing I will say that I kind of don't like about this game is that regardless of what option you choose, it kind of seems like the traveler's it kind of says all the options and so it doesn't matter which one you choose, because it sounds like he says both, because he doesn't really speak all that often. So, but it's just based on the context of what the other characters say, that it kind of leads me to believe that regardless of what he says both.
Well, even so, she might be heading someplace where we could find other people to ask. Let's keep our distance and follow her. When we get the chance, we'll just ask someone else for directions. Come on, let's follow her. Just keep quiet. Make sure she doesn't notice us. Huh? She just walked near that small waterfall and then suddenly vanished. Let's go take a closer look. Paimon thought this cave would lead to a village or something, but it looks like that's not the case. Look, she's sitting over there. Wait, she couldn't possibly be living here, could she? What should we do now? Do we try asking her for directions again?
Also, maybe in case you haven't kind of been catching the drift, I'm probably going to remain quiet as these cutscenes and things like that try to interplay. So that way, if I decide to load this back up, someone can like review this playthrough and just see the playthrough as I'm doing it, as opposed to, me talking over it the entire time. So that also gives my voice a little bit of a break, because I remember my last stream, I think my voice was starting to hurt probably around 2 hours in. So, all right. Anyway, hold on. Maybe I'll adjust my size here just so you can kind of see. All right, here we go.
All right, then. It's not like we have anyone else we can ask. Even if she's not very friendly, we just need her to point us in the right direction. That's all. Oh. What a lovely smell. It's coming from that sensor over there. This is definitely not your typical place to call home, but at least it smells nice. Maybe living here wouldn't be too bad after all. Huh? What's the matter? You don't look too good. What? Is the smell making you feel sick? Strange. Paimon doesn't feel anything.
Well,
What's happening? Traveler? This is no time for a nap. Oh, come on.
bizarre. Gives me a lot of Yggdrasil vibes. Can't sprint. How long?
Yes, you can relax. Believe me, Master is extremely knowledgeable. If he says that he's going to be alright, then there's absolutely nothing to worry about. Oh, are you awake now?
Oh, thank goodness! Traveler, you're finally awake! Well, we're at... good question. Where are we? Hyman was in such a panic when you passed out that she even forgot to ask what place this is.
This is Gandharvaville. It was originally built by scholars from Sumeru as a place to rest in the rainforest. Now it's mainly used by the forest rangers as a base of operations. My name is Kale. I'm a trainee forest ranger. My master and I found you passed out during our patrol, so we brought you here. Oh, no things are necessary. I didn't do anything really. By the way, how are you feeling now? Any discomfort? anything. He gave you some while you were unconscious. Before I forget, Master mentioned you should take more medicine once you wake up. Whoops!
Kale, what's the matter? Were you trying to retrieve the medicine? As I've already told you, you must be careful with these. I'll get it for you once I am finished here.
Sorry, Master.
Now, the guide to Avidia Forest's edible fungi is clearly posted on our bulletin board, but if Farbode forgets which mushrooms to avoid one more time, I'll have no choice but to leave the guide somewhere a little more visible. Like right smack on his forehead so others can remind him to be careful.
Right? This is the second time he's come down with food poisoning this month. I'll be sure to give him a good talking to.
Yes, please do. If, on the off chance, Farbode simply enjoys having little imaginary fairies dance before his eyes, then we'll just let him be. But the next time he requires any of our medicine, be sure to charge him accordingly.
Sounds like a pain in the ass.
So, how are you doing? Feeling better?
Oh, this is my master, Forest Watcher Tainari. He is chief officer over all the rangers here in Gandharvaville.
I already informed Paimon about the reason you fell unconscious earlier. But now that you're awake, let me explain it for you as well. It is common practice for Sumeru scholars of certain darshans to dedicate themselves to training in meditation in isolated areas, particularly the nearby forests. While meditating, they use a certain incense known as spirit borneal to help calm their minds as they enter a state of deep rumination. In hopes of asking directions, you two followed a scholar named Hypatia into her cave. The incense you smelled inside was the spirit borneal I just mentioned.
Interesting. I think that has to be a reference to Hypatia, the female scholar from from ancient Rome, wouldn't it? Because I mean, she's probably the only famous female ancient world scholar that I could think of that was into sciences and things like that, which these scholar types seem to be about. But and also the naming just sounds familiar, but who knows? I think that I find that interesting. I do know that there is a film called Agora that was made in I want to say 2006 about this Hypatia. It might be, I haven't personally seen it, but there was a guy called the History Buff on YouTube who did a review of the movie Agora, and it looks pretty interesting, and I'd say go give that a shout out, or give that a look if you want to know more, or obviously, do start with a general look on Wikipedia and then dive down from there.
That incense typically has no effect on most people. But for a very select few, it can have profound effects on one's cognition, as you experienced firsthand. Does that make sense? Very good. Now, answer me this. Did you feel anything after passing out? Say, any out-of-body experiences, or did you see anything while unconscious?
I saw the world tree.
Kale, let the others know to stop bringing their patrol logs here for now.
Huh? Why?
Because these two will be staying here for the next few days. They can have my room, and I'll bunk with Amir. Now get a move on, and be sure to do as I've said.
Yes, Master Tainari.
Shit's going down.
Alright, I'm just gonna make myself a little bigger now. There we go. Get back to it.
Wait, hold on a second. Can you tell us what's going on?
Sure. Let me fill you in. I originally planned to send you on your way once you finished your medicine. However, It appears now that you should stay a while longer in Gandharvaville for further observation while you recuperate.
Tell me the real reason.
Further observation?
No need to be hasty. As long as you have the capacity to judge between right and wrong, I promise that you'll understand the gravity of the situation once I explain everything to you. Based on what you saw after smelling the incense and losing consciousness, we can conclude that you experienced a powerful hallucination, which suggests your mental state is not in the best of shape. If you're skeptical, have a whiff of this.
Oh, are you okay?
What is with these people just throwing incense at this poor traveler?
You're experiencing a similar sensation as when you passed out, aren't you? So even though your condition is stable as of now, if I were to haphazardly let you leave, it's highly likely that you'd suddenly pass out again somewhere else. The rainforest is home to many fierce animals and hazardous areas. If something were to happen to you again, I'm afraid you might not be so lucky.
There's also something you ain't telling me. What is it, boy?
For now, I suggest you continue taking your medicine each day and avoid wandering off on your own, at least until you stop having adverse reactions to this kind of smell. Okay? Good. Now, continue resting while I fire up another bowl of medicine for you.
Seriously? We just arrived in Sumeru. We're already having problems left and right. Paimon knows we're set on meeting Lesser Lord Kusanali as soon as possible, but you really don't look too good. It'd probably be best to let you recover first.
If there was one maybe complaint that I would say is that there's no visible changes if my character has indeed like been hurt or something like that, or if he is supposed to be like unwell, there is no indication to give that, you know.
Hey! Are you even listening to Paimon? Paimon's over here worrying about you, you know. What's weird? You mean how you're feeling now? You mean the vision of tree roots and red skies you saw? But if those weren't hallucinations, what could they be? Well, considering how unique you are, Paimon trusts your judgment here. But why didn't you say anything about it to Tainari? If he misjudged your condition, then there's a chance you could get worse, right? Huh? You mean that Tainari already knows that what you saw weren't hallucinations? But if that's the case, why would he try to hide that from us? Oh, Paimon gets it now. That explains why you were so quiet earlier. Well, that settles it then. We'll stay here to rest up and figure out what's going on with your hallucinations. But it seems like asking Tainari might not be an option anymore. What do you think we should do? Good idea. Kale's pretty friendly. We can ask her tomorrow about what she knows regarding the Dendro Archon and customs in Sumeru.
I still haven't even visited the Shrine of Seven yet to switch to Dendro.
Rise and shine! Come on, it's time to go find Kale.
Now let's just Spider-Man our way over there. The one thing I will say I like about this game is that every new region or zone has different forms. They introduce like a new form of traveling. Sometimes it's exclusive to that nation. Other times it's more permanent. Like in Mondstadt, you get these wind gliders, which are really useful and helpful to use. They're very similar to Legend of Zelda's Breath of the Wild glider, as from what I could recall. Okay. Now, to kind of demonstrate that the element changing here, it only applies to this character, the Traveler. So if I switch to any other character here, say like the Unibricea, that option of resonating the Dendro will not appear. So here we go. And I should get an achievement since I've not done before. There we go, Essence of Flora. Now, unfortunately, because of my current my current team composition in general isn't exactly the greatest in the world, because even though Noelle is a shielder and a healer, she can only heal and shield when she's on. She can shield when she's off field, but she can only heal when she's on field with her shield activated. Ice has no reaction to the Traveler's Kit right here, which is a new Dendro kit. He does interact with D-Luke and that, and so when Ice and Fire meet, it creates a reaction called Melt, which is what I've been using with Noelle as like my shielder and healer, and when the Traveler was Electro, he was kind of like the energy recharge, since Noelle doesn't really recharge energy all that efficiently. But now that I've changed all that, it might be time to maybe look into having a different healer. Maybe say like Barbara. Because what happens when Dendro and so Barbara is kind of dedicated to healing, although there are some people who can kid her out to being pretty a big damage dealer, but her elemental skill creates a little ring of what they call water in this game is referred to as hydro. And when hydro and dendro, which is what this new element is, meet, it causes an effect called bloom. And when bloom comes together, it creates like these little pockets of energy around that if you hit them, if you hit them with either electricity or they will create an effect called hyper bloom. Or if you hit them with a pyro character like D-Luke here, it will create an effect called a burgeon. So I think for now we're going to keep the setup as it is by switching it over to Barbara instead. Let me just make sure that I have everything set up here. Is that fully level? No, it's not. We want, yeah, of course we want HP because, so for Barbara, her whole thing is, all of her skills, they get combined for, all of her skills are enhanced by, I believe they scale with her HP, so, which is really helpful so it's very helpful for her to get a lot of items that stack on health percentage or hit points. And that was very nice that you can just kind of click and drag. That's so much more helpful than having to select 8 over and over and over again. Oh Lord Almighty. Alright, and well, that's not going to give us enough. Slots full. Let's go. So the nice thing about from what I understand, from what I've read online and things like that, the best thing you need to do in terms of like if you're starting the game out new is that you want to try to get your character up to or get your adventure rank, which is like your overall accounts level, up to level 45, so that you can start farming these artifacts and things like that. So you can start farming for 5-star artifacts, which are they're highlighted gold. And the reason why you want to do that is because those artifacts can be upgraded up to all the way to level 20. and obviously the base stat for each one of them is not going to change, but they come with like different fixes, which certain stats are going to be affected by different. Certain characters are going to need different kind of stats to help improve. So, for instance, D-Luke is primarily a damage dealer, so he wants when he looks at the artifacts, he primarily wants artifacts that will boost in crit rates and crit damage. So this flower is okay for the piece that it is. It only gives me about 6% enhanced crit rate. This one is okay. It's okay because it only gives me some HP, but dude doesn't really need a lot of hit points. He primarily needs a lot more crit damage and crit rate and attack to be scaled up. Now your flowers and your feathers are always going to be flowers are always going to have the base stat of health points, whereas the feathers are always going to boost your attack. So it is your priority when you're trying to like level up, and if you're like new to the game, is that you want to try to get so like if you're brand new, you want to try to get probably like a purple background colored set, and you want to try to get your feather leveled up to level 16, because purple or epic levels, they can only go up to level 16. But once you start getting 5-star relics, or I guess legendary, if you're more of like an old school gamer like like WoW or something like that, you want to get these up. You want to try to get these up because this will boost your overall attack and bonuses and things like that. Flowers will always give you health points, so you can always kind of like reliably use these for like as your basis. Now your sands or timer, or what I like to call your trinket 3. So you got like the crown, the goblet, and I guess you want to say sands, or because they're all like shaped in they all have something to do with time, because there's like stopwatches, sand dials, and things like that. But sands, these are the ones that are going to probably they can have a multitude of different fixes up here. So for instance, here on my Venti, it's attack, but over here we have a defense one, and then there's energy recharge, health points, attack, energy recharge. Let's see, does anyone else have something? Defense, which the only thing the biggest complaint that a lot of Genshin players have is that this process of getting these newer relics is kind of a pain in the butt, because not only do you want to have a relic that actually has the base stat that you want, which for here in D-Luke's case, I would probably want something with attack, or if I'm trying to see if there's because I'm pretty sure it looks like it's just attack, but I think there is also crit damage. No, that would be. Yeah, I think for him it would be attack. But you would want, so for the sands you would want attack, but over here in the goblets you can have pyro damage, you can have you can still have HP, defense, and attack still here on your base stats. But the more important one, so like here, this is like goblet that I have for when my traveler is resonated with Animo, and I guess is a better way to say it, air. In this game, this is the goblet I have saved for him. This is for Geo, which is more for his for my traveler's Geo build or Earth. So when you first start the game, you go through each nation. When you start the game, each nation has their own resident god is also representative of one of these elements. So in Mondstadt, the Archon is their element is Animo. So the traveler's first kit is that they get is Animo. The second Archon that you meet is in Lila, which is the nation right after Mondstadt, and that element is Geo. Now Geo, in terms of the traveler, Geo is the most probably the most still well built set. I would argue that Electro isn't bad either. Now with from what I've heard about the newest nation, Fontaine, which that is the Hydro Nation, or water, and apparently the Traveler's Kit is really garbage there. So I don't really know I don't know how I feel about that, and I guess we'll see when I actually start trying to use it. Even though I've already picked up the Hydro element for the Traveler, I just haven't really used it a whole lot. But a lot of people are not big fans of it because it's kind of crap. Now, from what I've heard, the one that I'm using right now, Dendro, that I just picked up for the Traveler, his Dendro, I believe they have stated, is actually his best kit because it's the most because essentially I've heard it's the most viable. I don't know. I can't really say since I haven't really used it yet, but based on what I've seen so far from like all the other nations and from what I've seen from like doing all the player quests and things like that, the Traveler tends to get a kind of like a variant of or a different version of the Archon's abilities themselves. So, for instance, and all the Archons are playable in this game. So, for instance, you'll figure it out when you start playing if you decide to play. But anyway, so Venti is the Archon is the Animo Archon. So he is the Archon of Mondstadt. His powers, so if you look at his talents, Wind's Grand Ode is a giant like a giant black hole that's sucked into in the middle of all the enemies. So as you can see here, if the storm fires off an arrow made of countless coalesced winds, creates a huge storm eye that sucks in opponents and deals continuous animo damage. So it's a really good crowd control ability. And what it does is it essentially creates a giant ball for the enemies, and they get sucked up to it. And if the storm eye comes into contact with any of these elements, so Hydro, Pyro, Cryo, or Electro, it will deal additional elemental damage of that type. And it can only absorb one element at a time, so you can't just like because it's kind of hard to talk about this because I feel like I've been playing the game for about 4 months now, and I just feel like I'm kind of spouting off what someone who's with 4 months of knowledge and done quite a bit of research about it has. But the biggest thing in this game, let me actually pull up the tutorial, is that the nice thing about this game, I will say, is that it does have it's very user friendly. That like if you ever feel lost, their tutorials will always show you what you need to do to kind of get caught up. So kind of like as I was talking earlier about the elemental burst, and I guess if you want to kind of view it in a different way, it's kind of like if you're like more used to like a traditional Japanese RPG style kind of game, and this would be like the character's ultimate ability. And you get typically most characters get their energy through elemental particles through dealing damage of that elemental type. So, but let's see, where is that's not it. Where is activations for mysterious blah 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 blah. Where is the one that talks about combining elemental skills? Gulfing Storm? No, that's not it. Where is it? Is it in here? No. Oh, here we go. Elemental reactions. There we go. So the main source of this game's abilities and like your characters to be able to do damage is being able to combine elemental reactions. So here, if we think about Venti's thing of the Animo swirling so swirl can react with almost any element. So Animo, the best way to describe it is that there are 4 primary elements that are like kind of like the primers for reactions, which that's going to be cryo, hydro, pyro, and electro. Those 4 elements tend to be like the primers for when you want to initiate a reaction. Dendro can be used as an initiator if you're planning on using it for. So like yeah, you can use it if you're trying to set up burning. So a lot of these reactions kind of overlap with one another. Animo doesn't react, and so Geo and Animo are a little bit different though. So Animo is more like it's a kind of like an AOE reaction. So when you have, for instance, when a character attacks a character that's been, say, hit with Electro, and they use an Animo character to use the Animo skill, that will spread the Electro to all the other characters, although it will remove the Electro from that one enemy. So essentially, trying to go back to Venti's ability over here.
Bring the Knights of Favonius with you next time.
If we go back to this, we can only use one, so it's not like we can't just continuously pop off on mixing these 4 together, because these 4 can always react with one another. The hydro, cryo, and electro. They can all interact with one another. Geo is the only standout of all the elements because it does have a reaction with every single element except for Animo, because like I said, Animo is not necessarily a primer. It's more of Animo and Geo are the only elements that do not act as a primer for how you want to use your elements. Dendro is a little weird that it doesn't react to Geo or cryo, or I guess it does. It will react to Animo because Animo will just spread it out. But Geo's reaction, it reacts with all elements, I think, except for Dendro. But what it does crystallize. And so it doesn't react with Animo or Dendro, but it reacts with all the others. And essentially what happens is, when you attack someone with the Geo character, and the thing is, the slimes in this world are all, they're always have an element of already based on them. So this is like a hydro slime. And what happens is, essentially, these little crystals that drop from them, you pick those up and it gives you a temporary shield for the character when you're wanting to do that. Which is pretty neat, kind of making Geo like the very, it kind of makes him kind of like the ultimate shielders, or kind of like the people that just don't give up. So a lot of Geo characters are very hard,
Guess we can rest a bit.
has a very solid kit. So for instance, if we go to the characters that I have, so Noelle, on top of being able to create a shield, because her talents are pretty interesting, because this skill actually creates a separate shield on top of the Geo created shields. So like my usual rotation would be, I would try to go for a melt with Kea, and then hit, freeze with Kea, and then hit with D-Luke with his flame sword. But sometimes, because D-Luke attacks 3 times in a row, and because he's a pyro character and pyro just goes everywhere without Animo, I can switch, and if he tends to set himself on fire quite a bit. And so then what I would do then is I would switch to Noelle, and I would hit her skill, which will create a shield. And then on top of the shield, it actually she produces, I can pick up the crystallized pyro that can drop out of the character since they're still on fire, but because Geo interacted with it to create a crystallizing effect, I got essentially a double shield, and it's playing with Noelle with any of those characters makes it very difficult for anyone to really put her down. The only issue is for me that for her, I don't really have her. She doesn't really have super great attributes, but she is also one of the few characters that actually can utilize the defense mechanism pretty well, because her because if we look at her constellation, I think it was her constellation, yeah, sweeping time, her burst essentially makes her regular attacks just so much better, and essentially what it does is that it will produce it will just make her sword bigger, and it makes her hit longer, and it makes her hit harder, and it's all geo damage. So if you're attacking like a slime or a character or a class or a elemental based character, you're constantly crystallizing the elements off of them, and it's pretty intense. And on top of that, I have her at 6 constellations, which is so when the thing about this gacha game system is that when you're playing it, and when you like try to go get new characters or something like that, because when you first start the game, there will be like a beginner's banner or whatever, and essentially the only way to get more characters, other than playing like time exclusive events, is to go through the wish system, which is this thing, which is the gambling portion of the game. Because as you can see here, these are your wishes, and these are your primal gems. Primal gems are like the premium currency of the game that you have to use to buy these wishes. Now, this is this wish banner. This is the standard banner, so it's always there, and it rarely changes. You can get any of the 4-star characters, but only a few 5-star characters come out of this, and a few 5-star weapons. Most of the time, the most powerful characters are going to come from these wish events, which are the limited time ones. So see, like Navia is only available for 2 more days, and Ayaka is only available for 2 more days. And these are the 4-star characters that are going to have a higher pull rate when you try to pull on this particular banner. And then there's the weapon banner. So like if you want to on top of getting the 5-star character, you could try to pull for their signature weapon. So you can get a guaranteed character, a 5-star character after 80 pulls, and you can wish you can get 10, you can wish for 10 characters at a time through this system, but you can only get a guaranteed after 80. Now the only interesting part is that it's only a 50-50 chance that you'll actually get this 5-star initially. But if you don't get the listed banner character on your first 80 wishes, whatever character that you wish on the next time will be a guaranteed whatever that banner character is. So I tried to pull for on the last banner, I tried to pull for the character Farina, and I lost the 50-50, and I got Tignari, the guy that we were just seeing in the cutscene. So I finally met the character, even though he's been in my party for a few weeks now. Or I actually have him up. There he is. She was so this was my first 5-star, but these characters were all in Sumeru, and when I first started, I couldn't really level them up beyond to level 20, because if you want to level them up further, you have to get certain items. And I could not get this whatsoever, because I was pretty much region locked because this is Liwa right here. Here's Mondstadt, and here's Asma. And I was kind of region locked for a long time between those 3 nations. Or I was region locked and you can also get through the forest part of Sumeru just fine. But this is also all part of Sumeru, this giant desert, which I'm not looking forward to, but I just hope I don't have to play too much through it. But having to force myself to travel all the way through the desert to pick up all the statues of 7, going all the way up here and then trying to get to Fontaine just to unlock it so I could get to these special limited time events. It was a pain in the butt. Because I don't know if it's just intentional or if it's just a Sumeru theme, but like if you intentionally avoid fights throughout Sumeru, these little fungus pop up every now and then, and they were so freaking annoying to fight, man. I hated it so much. Because I'd be like running and I'm trying to get away, then all of a sudden like these little enemies that I was fighting earlier as a traveler, they would pop up and I'm just like, stop. It was so annoying.
Our recent character.
All right, next let's see your right hand. Not bad.
Get away.
But please remember that you still need to be careful, understand?
Yes, I will. By the way, Master, I still haven't received the patrol route for today.
Alright, there we go. I think that should probably help prevent overlapping of the voice and audio from the game and my voice, so hopefully it goes there. So let's try that. Okay. So
Look, Kale, today's patrol will be a long one, so you won't be coming along this time. Besides, there's a chance we may encounter... well, you understand.
But I have a vision too! Am I useless to everyone now?
Don't talk like that, Kale. This is not something you need to be worrying about right now. Ah, there you are. Feeling any better?
Yeah, since we'll be staying here for now, we thought we might as well try lending a hand around here.
Seems you're not the type to sit back and take it easy for a while, huh? In that case, perhaps Kale could take you two for a patrol south of Gandharvaville for the day. And if you're feeling up to it, you can be responsible for cleaning the Statue of the Seven.
Cleaning the statue? Oh, Lord.
Tenari, we're ready to head out.
Got it! I'll be right there. All right, we'll be heading into the forest now. I'll leave any further details to Kale.
Yes, you can count on me.
So, Kale, what exactly are we going to be doing today? Kainari mentioned cleaning the statue just now, but, that doesn't really sound like the job for a ranger.
Well, a forest ranger's responsibilities can be pretty diverse. They handle a variety of tasks, like checking the condition of outlying roads, maintaining forest facilities, ensuring fire prevention standards are met, and providing assistance to travelers and locals. As for Master, well, he has to handle more dangerous areas of the rainforest. Today we can perform routine checks on the pathway lamps as we make our way to the Statue of the Seven. Paimon, traveler, this way!
Okay.
You can leave the task of checking the lamps to me. In the meantime, you two can keep an eye out for anything unusual.
While I don't have a problem with the current team composition, I do think that we could make it a little bit better, maybe by incorporating another Dendro character. So, the biggest thing that I'm still trying to work on, not that I don't know how to, it's just that my current strongest characters were just based on, who I could get and what I thought were the strongest constellations and things like that at the time. But right now, it's pretty standard, all elemental physical resistance by plus 15. But if you can get two types of characters on one team with the two same things, like say, for instance, like if I had two cryo characters, I could increase the effective crit rate against frozen targets by 15. Or, I think what is probably going to be more important here is going to be getting another Dendro here, character in here. Because after triggering burning, quickening, bloom reactions, all party members gain 30 elemental mastery. And we also get helps some protection against being able to do these things, because while they are very powerful and helpful, the aggravate, spread hyperbloom and burgeon. Hyperbloom and burgeon specifically can still hurt our characters and not just harm the enemy. So having a secondary Dendro character may be beneficial here. So let's see. Do I have anyone that's actually up to level that I can use here? I know I have to get some sort of materials for him. Well, since she's already in the story, we could try using her, but let's see, what do we need to... Oh, we can ascend her right now. Perfect. So that'll only get her to level 50.
I'm starting to feel...
Okay. So I would need to kill the Jade King Tenor Shroom approximately twice, and I would need to get more of these mushrooms to level her up. And what are her artifacts like? Because I have pretty good constellation level with her. So she actually would not be a bad party member to add into here. Oh no. Yeah, we need to update that as soon as possible. Let's see. I'm going to look up a quick guide for her online. That should hopefully help me out here. I have a feeling that it's probably going to be related to elemental mastery, but I want to double check. So, let's open that up. Genshin. To add Honkai on there. Alright. Genshin. Let's see. I want to look for Cole. There. Let's see. Good sub DPS. Well, that would change her role that 4K up pretty perfectly. So she ideally wants Deepwood Memories, Dendro bonus damage, crit rate, crit damage, energy recharge. Okay, so I do believe her 4-star set is the Exile, which I do have plenty of, so let's give that a whirl. So she wants, so her primary substats are going to be energy recharge, attack, and 8 elemental mastery. So I need to find energy recharge, which I think this is all we got for that. So we'll switch to that. Now we need a Dendro damage stopwatch. Let's see if we have an Exile version of that. Energy recharge. No. Oh no, that's the sands. We need energy recharge on sands. Okay. Well, perfect. Granted, that's no energy. We don't have other energy recharge, but we get a flat. But looks like we at least got some decent attack added, so that's great. Now the goblet is what we want, and with Dendro damage. Physical. Oof. We could use that. And for the circlet, or the crown, we will need crit rate or crit damage. Oof. And well, that's all we got. So at this point, when you're this kind of level, or this is the kind of resources that you have, like me, you just gotta work with what you got. Alright, well, which one is going to be the best? Could be better, but you know, this is just the 4-star set, so it's not like I'm going to really break a sweat about it. So alright. So that should be good for her. We're still going to have to do some farming to get her up to snuff if we really want to add her to the party. But we do need to change our goblet for our traveler because currently we are set up with our electro, which we just are not using electro, so we don't need it right now. So let's set our filter to finding. No, we don't want it because we already got the 4-star set through all the others, so that's good. We don't need to worry about that. But we do need to find Dundro damage bonus. Oh, perfect. That's what I knew I was saving that for some reason. Okay, let's get down to business to defeat the Hun. Whoa! Sorry, I was listening to a Mulan soundtrack cover earlier today, and I'm just now been. Let's do it. Get her done. All right. So the hard part is also, I think, about the hardest aspect of the artifact grind is that you have to sacrifice so much of the other artifacts just to get to the point where you need to get the right level. That is until I think you get your teapot level high enough to where you can buy. Because and when your teapot level is high enough, I believe you can actually buy these from and the teapot is like the player housing in this game. You have to do a certain amount of stuff before you can unlock it. Like you have to beat the story to a certain point. And it gives the artifacts about 10,000 experience, which is very helpful, especially for the 5-star artifacts, because you got 20 levels to go, and we're sacrificing a lot of 3 stars here, and we're only at level 12. And the level cap just keeps going higher and higher. Meaning we gotta sacrifice more of these poor blueies over here. Such a shame, really. But, you kind of get a lot of them, and not all. And at this point, and for me, I'm at the point where I shouldn't really be using any 3 stars in my sets anyway. I should be using at least 4 stars on all of my characters. But sometimes you just can't find the right stuff, the right substats on your 4 stars even, because that's how much this game hates us apparently. And wow, I've been hitting the double EXP bonuses pretty frequently. That's very nice. Okay. Click and drag. We're almost there. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Come on. We're almost there. And granted, because I also play so this game is produced by a company called MiHoYo, which is a company based out in China. And they do a lot, they have a lot of good, and they have a pretty impressive game library. They also are the people that are behind Honkai Star Rail, which is a game I've been playing as well, which is actually what got me into playing Genshin, because I played Honkai Star Rail. And the one constant complaint between both of those games is that the fan base for both games hates this process of trying to level up these artifacts. Because as you can see, there's no guarantee, as you kind of saw me go through it, there was no guarantee which substat was actually going to level up, and it's not like it, because sometimes they'll have a hidden stat in here, or like they'll only have 3 name stats, and then it will show up a hidden stat like this HP here, and it seems like all of my bonuses here all went to HP. As if I really needed that. Man. Like, I'm happy that I guess that my max health now is like 1600, but like I don't really care. Like, that's not the whole purpose of the character's build. So that's the whole point, is that like on top of the game of where like we have to spend money to gamble on the characters, we have to gamble on whether or not we're actually going to get good stuff in the game while we're playing the game. It's ridiculous. Ooh, yeah. Okay, what we're doing that. Chill your buddy out. Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking in on my daily log here because the other than what you saw me when I first logged in, several minutes ago, the only way to get a steady supply of these Primo gems and to go through this wish system is to do what they call these daily commissions, which are kind of like daily quests. You get roughly about 90 or 60 throughout the entire process of doing it all, and you do like 4 a day, and you can get so over time you'll slowly build stuff up. But there's also a lot of chests that you can find in the game, which comes from the exploration part, that you can also find more, and each chest will contain at least 2 or more depending on the quality of the chest that you find, and that can help slowly build up over time too. But it takes roughly about 1,600 Primo gems to get a 10 pull. So essentially if we're looking at the math totally, sorry, I'm going to bust out my phone because I can't do that kind of calculation in my head. So we're talking roughly to get for every guaranteed 5-star, we are looking at roughly 128,000 Primo gems. Now, of course, obviously you can conveniently purchase more because these crystals that you can buy are a 1-to-1 conversion rate for these. But you can they've started also doing things like this where you can also buy different outfits for your characters. So D-Luke, if I wanted to give him a different more, because this is what he looks like now, which I think is alright, but if you want to go the full anime anime character route, that is much more impressive in a lot of ways. And I did not know that it actually changes idols that much. But the high ponytail makes him a little more impressive to look at. So you could also just spend your crystals on that. You could get something like this for D-Loot or KS, sorry, and from what I understand later on from what I've learned is that this outfit could make a little bit more sense given who he is. And then there's the 5-star character right now, Ayaka. She is from Inazuma, which is this game's version of
A
Japan.
blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
So this is her original outfit that she gets, but this is the one you can also purchase. This one.
A blade embraces its duty,
Okay.
as a jeweler cherishes their gems.
And the last event in this game in Fontaine actually had Ayaka and her brother come from Inazuma to Fontaine to help produce a film. So, what I do find surprising is that, these characters are all, this is Jean. She is another 5-star from Mondstadt. And she is, I kind of find it surprising that D-Luke is the only one with a 5-star outfit, but I mean, it is a significant upgrade compared to where he had before, although his old outfit doesn't look too terrible. But yeah, it looks like most of these characters that have outfits are mostly characters that you get at the start. These 3 are guaranteed characters you get, Lisa, Kaya, and Barbara. These are all 5 stars. These two are limited times. Keishin is on the standard banner along with Jean and D-Luke. While Faisal over here, you can get her. She's not a guaranteed character that you can get, but you can purchase her so every month they rotate this star glitter exchange. So like when you go through the wish system over here, you can pull. Sometimes when you they'll give you a certain amount, or maybe it might be best to kind of show you guys. I'm kind of saving my guarantee because the next limited to banner is going to include a character called the Raiden Shogun and Yoimiya. But Raiden Shogun is a 5-star that I want because she is the Electro Archon, and she's also just a very diverse character that can kind of fit in any party from what I've kind of seen from her kit. So she'd be very useful anywhere that she kind of goes, as long as you build her up correctly and things like that. But I need 3 more to get that 80. But essentially every time that you pull, you also get a small amount of that star. You get a little bit of star glitter and star dust. And every month the shop rotates a new inventory. So like every month on the Star Dust exchange, you can get 5 intertwined and 5 acquainted fates. The acquainted fates are used to purchase the standard banner, and intertwined fates are used to purchase the 5-star banners. Star glitter, it's a 5 for 1, but you can also use it to spend on certain characters. So Faisal will sometimes come up as like one of the 4 stars on the banners, but Kaya, Lisa, Amber, and I can't remember who else. They don't show up in the 4-star. They don't show up as like limited 4 stars in the wish system. I don't know why. I mean, they're listed there, but I have yet to hear people actually say that they managed to pull them. So, details. List of items. So, yeah, so Diluc, Tignari, Mona. So I've gotten Tignari Day at Diluc, and they're not the only 5-star because I also have Zhongli and Venti as well. I feel like I'm missing a 5-star that I have in my party. Who else do I have? Oh, Hu Tao, yeah. She's also another great fire DPS, but she's kind of like she's a fire character that she does better damage the less health that she has. So she's kind of like a high risk, high reward kind of character, which I can see the appeal of that kind of gameplay. And I know that her overall damage output would probably be better than Diluc as well, just because she's also the only character that I have that actually has a 5-star weapon, because this is the only 5-star weapon that I managed to pull my entire time playing this game. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get back to playing the game. Enough of me yapping. Well, for the time being, actually, let's go pause. And for the time being, I am going to go use the restroom. So I will be back, and we'll be playing some more. Oops. Oh, there we go. Okay, and welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that, it took a little bit longer. I don't know what exactly happened in there, but, you know, I ain't going to reveal nothing.
Nothing wrong with these 2 lamps. Let's move to the next ones.
Okay, let's keep moving. Just keep moving, just keep moving, just keep moving, just keep moving. No climbing necessary, we're just checking the lamp.
Oh, this lamp seems to be getting a little wobbly. Let me make a note of it.
Alright, let's move on.
No problems with this lamp. Good.
Alrighty. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever Spider-Man does. Oh, of course.
The statue of the 7 is up on top of that large rock formation. You must have seen it when you came down this road before. It's pretty high up there, isn't it? Don't worry. If you're afraid you can't make it up there, I'm sure Master wouldn't mind if you don't clean the statue. Oh? I guess I'll leave it up to you then. There's not much footing once you reach the statue, so be careful up there.
Paimon will fly up with you and help you with those hard-to-reach areas. By the way, Kale, do you know anything about the Dendro Archon? You know, what's she like?
That depends. Are you referring to Greater Lord Rukkhadevata or Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Huh? Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? Oh, is that the name of the former Dendro Archon?
Uh-huh. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was Sumeru's first Dendro Archon. She created the rainforest as well as the wall of Samiel around the desert. Her works provided a means of peaceful living for everyone. To the people of Sumeru, she's not only a symbol of wisdom, but also of power and kindness. Unfortunately, she disappeared in a great calamity that occurred a few hundred years ago.
So just to kind of provide context for those who are watching this stream and don't know who Raiden Mokoto is, as I was kind of talking about, I was saving for a character called Raiden Shogun. So Raiden Shogun is the Electro Archon, but Raiden Mokoto was the Electro Archon. So the real name of Raiden Shogun, her name is E.I. And her and Mokoto were sisters. And to kind of, based on, let's see, what is it? The great calamity that occurred a few hundred years ago, she's not, and the fact that she's no longer, and that A is now the Electro Archon, you can kind of guess what happened.
According to what Master has told me, the sages later found the newly born Dendro Archon and whisked her back to Sumeru.
She is Saturday night.
To celebrate the reinstatement of their lost deity, the sages dubbed her Lesser Lord Kusanali and let her reside in the sanctuary of Sarasana.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over Colali over here. But I also walked, and this is also in celebration of walking 18,000 steps today. My feet hurt.
Uh-huh. Then what happened?
Well, and then, I'm not too sure what happened, to be honest.
Huh? You're not too sure? But aren't you from Sumeru?
Yeah, I'm from Sumeru. But...
Maybe it's difficult to discuss this topic with strangers. If that's the case, then don't worry, we understand.
No, it's not that. I'm not trying to hide something from you. Besides, I don't consider you two strangers.
Your sense of stranger danger is very low. But yet again, you have a vision, so I guess if we're not that dangerous, you don't consider us that dangerous, so fair enough.
Because you two know Amber, right?
Wait, Amber? You mean...
Yes, that's her. Mondstadt for a while, and she helped me a lot during that time. You could even say that she helped me become a new person.
Huh. So Amber is like the first character you get, period, other than the Traveler in the game. So this is quite interesting that just now I'm seeing them outside of Mondstadt. This is like the first time I've seen anyone mention her. Granted, I've heard there are also like several events back when Genshin first released that Amber was a part of, but since, you know, leaving Mondstadt and Liyue, there haven't been a lot of events where I've actually seen the characters again outside of like specific character interactions.
There's no one like Amber. She lives life to the fullest while always adhering to her strong sense of justice. She's ready to answer the call for action at any moment, but is also very understanding of others. She's like the spark that lights the fire in everyone's heart around her. If you ask me, she's a prime example of a true outrider. She's the first person anyone coming to Mondstadt will meet. You can't help but be enthralled by her charm and enthusiasm, causing you to fall in love with the lands of Mondstadt and... sorry.
Paimon thought the work of Outriders was a little different from what you just described, but one thing's for sure, you really like Amber.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was rambling on just now. It must have sounded kind of weird.
It's alright, Kale. Knowing that you're a friend of Amber somehow makes Paimon suddenly feel a lot closer to you.
Sorry, I'm just posting. Posting the link. Just wanted to make sure people know that I'm streaming. Because at least last time I had at least one person come in and checking how my audio was at least and say hi for a bit, so that was nice. Alright, anyway, back to the game.
So, how do you know that we've met Amber?
Well, after I returned to Sumeru, Amber and I have stayed in touch by writing each other letters. In one letter, she mentioned that Mondstadt was attacked by a fearsome dragon, but the city was saved by a mysterious blonde traveler and their floating companion. I knew you two were the ones she mentioned in the letter the moment I saw you. But, considering everything you've been through that day, I thought it'd be inappropriate to bring it up.
Ah, so that's how you knew.
Yep, so please know that you two have my complete trust. Really. I wish I could tell you more about the Archon, but I have been away from Sumeru for some time, and I haven't read any books. Sorry.
This anti-intellectual attitude is really getting to me, man. Just kidding.
That's alright. You've already helped us a lot. We had never even heard of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata or the Sanctuary of Surasthana until you mentioned them.
Oh, I'm happy that was helpful. There is one thing I want to ask, though. Why do you two want to know about the Archon?
Well, we're going to let in on a little secret here. We're trying to find my sister. Of course, the
So
game
that's
is...
why you're here. Thank you for telling me your story.
Of course, the moment I start explaining what I think is going to happen, the game just goes... I don't know if that's just my penchant for understanding storytelling methods or whatever, man.
Don't mention it. We are friends after all, right? Alright, we have a statue to clean.
You both have my thanks. While you two are up there cleaning, I'll go ahead and inspect the forest canopy. Let's meet back here shortly.
Alright.
I'm not a very good climber, so I'll just let you handle the statue. I'll go check the facilities up ahead. By the way, once we're done with our work here, would Would you like to chat some more?
Alright. How about this? Spider-Man. Forget that climbing business. Let's,
Huh. Now that Paimon looks at it, the deity that's carved on the statue is kinda small.
So another thing that to kind of like point out, so each of the statues of 7 will have an icon of sorts of the actual Archon on top. And so if we were to go to Inazuma, there would be kind of the Electro Archon will have like the ring of taiko drums around her, but she's in a robe and having her hands out. The Archon of Liwa, who is a guy, and I'm not going to spoil who it is, even though if you play the story, you'll kind of figure it out. He's sitting on a throne because Liwa is kind of seen as like the economic epicenter of Tibet, which is the name of the world that Genshin Impact takes place on. And he was the oldest reigning Archon for a long time, so that's why he was on the throne, like a stone throne. And in Mondstadt, there is because I already revealed that Venti is the Archon. Venti will be the kind of like a figure of it, or adjacent to Venti will be on there. Now I happen to know who the Dendro Archon is just because all the Archons are playable characters in this game, or the Archon related characters are. And if you open up the character archives, you can see all the available characters in the game, not just the ones that you have unlocked, or have obtained rather, because unlocking suggests that there's skill involved in this. But this is a gacha game, there's no skill involved. Of course I'm being pedantic here and I'm just trying to be facetious, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, but yes, I already know that the reason why the statue is small is because we'll figure out when we get down later in the story. I want to save that surprise for my viewers and for any of them who are out there.
Do you think she's supposed to be Greater Lord Rukkhadevata or Lesser Lord Kusanali? The name does seem to fit the statue somehow. Well, anyway, we'll have to figure that out later. Let's get started on cleaning the statue. Paimon will fly up and take care of the top, and you clean everything below.
Meticulously.
Nice work. That's one clean statue. Let's head down and meet up with Kale.
Here we go. There she is, just chilling. Chilling like a villain.
We're back!
Okay, and
Welcome back. You must be tired after all that climbing. Let's take a little break. I brought some fruit and water for us.
Yay! Food! What kind of goodies did you bring?
so also another kind of running joke is that Paimon is the first character that the traveler meets after the prologue, the very introduction, the prologue of the game. Not the prologue of the story, but prologue of the game. Because Mondstadt is kind of considered the prologue of the main quest. But Paimon is like the first character that we meet after the prologue when you like do the character selection and beginning cutscene and things like that. And the funny gag of Paimon is that she's literally a never-ending pit of she's like she's like the joke of like every teenage boy, just a never-ending pit of hunger.
Hey, don't be a party pooper. It's not like Kale is a stranger or anything. Besides, the best way to compliment a chef is to show passion for their food. Xiangling taught Paimon that.
I prepared a nice portable dish that forest rangers like to eat called pita pockets. I hope you'll like them. Whoops!
Ah, no! You dropped it on the ground!
Not to worry. I wrapped a few layers of oiled paper around each pita. They should be fine.
That's what caused you a heart attack? Oh my. Pita
Those
bread.
pitas are amazing! You're quite the cook, Kale. Thank goodness you wrapped them in paper. Paimon wouldn't have been able to sleep at night knowing something so tasty had been wasted.
I know that a lot of the Genshin community gives crap to Paimon for being annoying, but I kind of find her antics pretty enjoyable and pretty endearing. So, forgive me if I just find her pretty funny.
You really know how to compliment the chef, Paimon.
Oh god. That's the worst way for it to go down. Oh god.
Since you liked it so much, I'll be sure to give you a copy of the recipe sometime. I'll even include all my personal cooking pointers, so you'll be making your own pita pockets in no time.
Yay! Thanks, Kale! It's hard to believe someone as diligent as you could have clumsy moments too.
Oh, I guess it happens from time to time.
Well, I'm sorry. Sorry again. I'm going to be right back. I need to get my other reward of sparkling water of the day, which is a white peach flavor, which I am very excited to drink. So I shall be right back. It'll be very brief, so stand by. Stand back.
Oh yeah. And we're back.
Alright. So I've had this white peach, the Mountain Valley sparkling water white peach flavor, and it's, other than Talking Rain, in terms of like pure flavor, I think this is probably, the one thing I will say I like about the Mountain Valley is that one, this is a liter bottle, a full liter of sparkling water. And that, it's also not as heavily carbonated as some others. The most carbonated sparkling water, mineral water I've seen so far is probably Topo Chico, and they only come in 750 milliliter waters. While it's still good, the carbonation sometimes can get a little bit in the way of the enjoyment, but this, like, if I swirl this around, because sometimes swirling like a water thing will kind of force the carbonation on top, and when I swirl it around for a bit, not a lot comes up, not a lot of bubbles. So see there, see like all this, just swirling around a little bit, just not as heavily carbonated, which has a nicer, smoother finish for it. So good on the Mountain Valley Mineral Company or Water Company.
So, Kale, don't you think that Tainari's a little too strict with you? He won't let you touch anything without his permission. Paimon knocks stuff over all the time flying around the Traveler, but he's never said anything. Everyone has their clumsy moments.
No, you've got the wrong idea about Master. Sure, he may seem a bit harsh at first, but with some time, you'll see that he's actually very kind-hearted. I've heard the veteran rangers say that Master is from some ancient and mysterious race that is known for their cunning wit and reclusive nature. But Master is actually very kind at heart.
Well, he kind of reminds me of a gay Miko who is actually a kitsune.
Oh, by the way, you've heard of the Academia, right? Well, there's a group called, something? Well, anyway, because Master does a lot of research on plants, sages from the Academia have written him many times, inviting him to take up an official position there. But Master declines their offers every time, saying, Sumeru City is too noisy. It'd be bad for my ears. Seems you already know him well. Anyway, I'm sure the sages were not happy about his responses. Master could obviously have a bright future in the academia, but he insists on sticking to the path of a forest watcher. Every day he helps the locals of the forest and passes on his extensive knowledge to trainees like me. In fact, Master's the one who taught me how to make pita pockets.
Really? Paimon would have never guessed that. Oh, speaking of Tainari, he was the one who took care of you after finding you passed out yesterday. He even carried you all the way here. Paimon's still kinda upset, though. He kept scolding Paimon the entire way here.
Okay, what?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Master might have been overreacting a little. But, it's mostly because Paimon wouldn't stop yelling, "Why, oh why, is he going to die?" It probably started to get under Master's skin after a while.
Well, given what happened the last time we went to a nation, I wouldn't put it past Paimon, because I think so our character has a propensity to, shall we say, get himself in danger.
Hey! Don't laugh! Paimon was genuinely concerned about you. Hey! Now even Kali's starting to laugh. Ugh, that's it! Paimon won't forget this. It's time for some primordial wrath!
No! Don't touch me!
Oh, sorry, Kale. Paimon didn't mean to scare you.
No, I just... I didn't mean that.
Kale, are you okay? What's the matter?
No, I'm fine. I'm sorry. I must have startled you both reacting like that. Oh, well, it's getting late now. Let's hurry back to Gandharville. I think Master and the others should be back by now, too.
Huh? What was up with Kale just now? And why is she in such a hurry all of a sudden? Look, she's practically running back. Paimon can't even see her now.
Well, I don't know, Paimon. Maybe, just because we were just introduced to the person that you just try to, I don't know. Granted, I know that your hands and feet are smaller than, a daisy rose, and you probably punch like a tissue paper, but, don't go up and grabbing or punching people, unleashing your primal wrath on someone. You're almighty. But to be fair, running away like that seems sus. Now, this was, if I were trying to host a more of like an Alec joke or something, this is big Sumeru, deep state conspiracy. They're trying to keep you out of the loop. They're trying to keep us down.
Ah, Traveler, you've returned.
Yep, we're back. Have you seen Kale by any chance?
Oh, Kale? Yes, I saw her go into her room just a moment ago.
Oh, okay. Guess we'll just have to wait and talk to her tomorrow then.
Talk to her tomorrow. I just realized I am pretty side out of frame here. So I'm hoping that this will, I'm viewed in a more center. There we go. I think it should be more center frame now. Doggo. Let me pet the doggo. This game is cruel. Cruel, I say. First, it won't give me the right substats I want on my artifacts, and now it won't let me pet dogs. Wait. What's going on? What do I need to do? Wait till tomorrow? Yep. The only saving grace, I know that there's like some timing requirements for this game, and obviously you can see that there was a day and night cycle, but I'm glad that there's this little watch thing that can, where we can advance that. There we go. And let's move forward.
Paimon was thinking all night about what happened with Kale, and still can't figure out what the problem might be. Maybe she's in a better mood now. Let's go check on her.
Tonight, what are you doing here?
Ah, it's you two. I was just about to go look for you.
Huh? Tainari, what are you doing here? Where's Kale?
I came to check on Kale's condition. To put it simply, she's not well.
You mean she's sick? How could she be... Oh, wait a minute. Could it be because of what Paimon did yesterday?
Yes.
No, it probably isn't.
No need to worry. Something as small as you could never harm her. This sickness is something that Kale has been dealing with for some time. Kale has been more excited than usual since you two arrived. A little too much so, to be honest. She hasn't remembered to take care of herself. I suppose it's understandable, though. She hasn't been around anyone she considered a friend for some time now. It must have been refreshing for her to have you two here.
That probably is true.
So, Tainari, what's really wrong with Kale?
Let's take this conversation elsewhere. Kale just fell asleep after taking her medicine. She needs some peace and quiet. All right, let's continue our conversation here, shall we? To be honest, I hadn't realized you were that honorary knight from Mondstadt until Kale told me just now. I've also heard all about your deeds in Liyue and Inazuma. So just to clarify, what I'm about to tell you about Kale is not because of who you are or your past feats. Instead, I am going to tell you because Kale asked me to. And honestly speaking, I was against Kale revealing her past to you. But she insisted, saying you two treated her with sincerity and as a friend. So now she wishes to reciprocate the gesture.
So, Tainari, what exactly is wrong with Kale? You said this is something she's been dealing with for some time. Just how serious is it?
Right. Ever since she was a child, she's been afflicted with a disease called Elazar.
Elazar?
Yes. It's a disease unique to the lands of Sumeru. It is characterized by dark and hardened scales that form on the body. At first, the afflicted may only feel mild numbness on affected areas of the skin. However, as the disease progresses, one may begin feeling fatigued and even experience peripheral paresthesia.
Sorry, I was Googling what paresthesia was. That is not... Is this supposed to be like this Tibet's version of leprosy?
In its final stages, the disease strips a person of the ability to control their own body, and they effectively become completely immobile.
That sounds terrifying. Wait, hold on. So when Kale seemed to be acting a little clumsy earlier, it was because...
Correct. That would be the effects of Elazar, which is precisely why I do not want her carrying or holding anything, lest she ends up hurting herself. With appropriate treatment, the disease can be effectively controlled before it progresses to a more serious stage. However, there is unfortunately still no true cure for Elazar. Nevertheless, Kale's mother still hoped that there was something out there. She handed Kale over to an organization known as the Fatui after one of their members lied and said they had a cure.
Yeah, that's kind of the Fatui's thing, man.
What? The Fatui?
Ah, it appears you already are familiar with them. That'll save me some explanation.
Damn right we're familiar with them. Slay them on a daily basis.
Anyway, the person who eventually rescued Kale and brought her to me for care said that she had been given to a harbinger known as the Doctor. I have no idea how this doctor managed to do it, but her case of Elazar was completely stable for all the years that Kale was with them. However, Kale's days with the Fatui were anything but pleasant. Kale is a resilient individual and always tries to appear cheerful, but her experience with the Fatui has left deep scars. Even now, she can still feel deathly afraid of someone touching her.
Oh, Paimon had no idea Kale's been through so much suffering.
Oh, by the way, Paimon, Kale wanted me to tell you that she's sorry for scaring you yesterday. She also wanted both of you to know that she's sorry for hiding her illness.
She doesn't need to apologize. None of this is her fault at all.
Well said. I hope you'll get a chance to tell her that in person the next time you see her. Kale once thought that it would be impossible for her to have any real friendships. I trust that you two will never let my trainee experience such emotional pain again.
Well, gee, that's no baggage or anything. But I can do it.
Don't worry, Tainari. We'll take good care of her.
Well, it's not too serious at this point. She overexerted herself the last couple of days, which is what led her to break down this time. As long as she has taken her medicine and gets plenty of rest, she should get better. Though I must admit that Kale's condition was much more stable when she first arrived here in Gandharvaville. She was interested in the work of the forest rangers the moment she saw us. I could see that she was serious about learning, so I felt compelled to ask her to join us.
Fair enough.
Her stamina has gotten much worse recently. Though a moderate amount of physical exercise is always necessary, I'm afraid the long-distance patrols are a little too much for her now. All right, now that I've told you about Kale's past, I think I'll head into the rainforest to find some ingredients needed for her medicine. I'll see you two later.
Yeah, we'd like to do something to help Kale too.
All right, but I must warn you two, the rainforest is a dangerous place, especially for someone who's still recovering, like the Traveler. You must follow closely and listen to every instruction.
No problemo.
Let's go then. We'll be looking for a plant known as the Nilode Pala Lotus. It's often used to help those afflicted with Elazar recover their energy.
Alright, let's...
Hey, Tainari, where exactly are we going to find this plant?
Nilode Pala Lotuses can be found all over the rainforest, but it often grows right here around Gandharvaville.
Given the name, it sounds like we should be looking for it in the water.
You are correct. The Nilode Pala Lotus grows in the water. When fully matured, they look like giant blue flowers floating on the water's surface. Quite an attractive species, if you ask me. The large petals are actually the plant's leaves and sepals, which surround a very small flower. You should note that many of the plants found in Sumeru have names that are contrary to their species. Take the Cowpelata, for example. The plant is not a lotus at all, but rather a vine. And then there's the Sumeru rose, which is not a rose, and is completely contrary to its name.
None of it.
Huh. Okay then. Note to Paimon. Never bring up the topic of flowers with Tainari.
Not a lot. These...
Freeze! Propagate!
So remember how I was talking about those elemental reactions earlier with Hydro and Dendro? So that was just an example of what happens when you do the hydro and then go to boom. And then if I hit it with Dulu here, it becomes Virgin. And as you can see, Dulu did take a little bit of damage from that.
Let's dance. Oh,
Oh, why did you burn? Well, I guess it... Oh, that's not as fun, I suppose. But yet again, Diluc's attacks are far more straightforward than anything else, so I guess I understand. Oh well. Alright. The rose that's not a rose. Perfect, alright. Okay, here we are. So I guess we're going over here soon.
There should be Nilode Palalotuses growing somewhere in this area. Let's split up and begin searching. If you could manage to gather 4 of them, that would be sufficient. We'll rendezvous here once you've gathered the needed amount.
Screw that, we're gonna grab 8.
So they did this specifically for the quest.
alright. We've gathered enough Nilot Pala lotuses. Let's head back to meet Tainari.
2, 4. We grabbed 6, because why stop at 4 when you can have all?
Hey, Tainari. We found the lotuses you requested.
Let me have a look. Good. Very good. These are all excellent quality. I'm glad you two came along. Your exploration experience helped save me a lot of time here. It seems we even have enough time to stock up on other things I need.
Hey, Tainari!
Oh, Tainari. Someone's calling your name. They're dressed like a forest ranger.
Ah, yes, that's Amir and the others. But didn't they just set off not too long ago? What are they doing back so early?
Trouble is afoot.
Let's go find out what's going on.
There's trouble afoot at the Circle K, boys. Let's go.
Tainari, thank goodness we found you here. We were just about to head back and find you at Gandharvaville.
What's going on?
We just discovered a withering zone.
The withering is back? But the patrol route you were on should have been already cleared just a week ago. It reappeared so quickly. Can you tell me the exact location?
It's up ahead, deep in the river valley. It's appeared in a spot that blocks nearly the entire narrow part of the valley area, so we decided to come find you as quickly as possible.
And the radius of the contamination?
Sorry, I couldn't get a clear enough view to tell.
No one in our patrol team had a vision, and it appeared to still be spreading. So we didn't risk getting any closer.
Okay, I understand. You made the right decision. I'll go deal with it right away. In the meantime, please guide these two back to Gandharvaville.
Wait, Tainari. Why don't you let us help you?
You two have only just arrived in Sumeru. You're still unfamiliar with many things in these lands.
Man, I dueled a god. I think I can handle whatever this withering zone is.
There's a unique type of anomaly that occurs in the Sumeru rainforest. It's called the withering. The affected areas not only cause nearby vegetation to wither, but it's also lethal to wildlife and even people. If you don't carry a vision, then you should think twice before approaching such places.
I don't carry vision, but I have all the power.
Yes, Amir is absolutely right. I wasn't kidding when I said the rainforest is a dangerous place. As Amir said, only someone with a vision, that is, the power to manipulate elements, will be able to resist the withering's corrosive effects for a time.
Well, we can control the elements and we don't have a vision, so... with the DX crotch shop.
That's right. If any of the forest rangers without a vision come across a withering zone, we first make a record of the location and then have a ranger with the proper abilities deal with it, like Tainari here. Only someone with a vision can venture within a withering zone and find a way to deal with it. But you don't seem to carry a vision.
Don't worry, he may not have a vision, but he's a real pro at using the power of the elements.
Seems the rumors about you were true then. In that case, all right, you two may accompany me. We typically only teach visitors how to identify the withering as they're about to leave Gandharvaville. We'll make an exception today and show you what it looks like up close.
All right, let's go, boys.
Oh, I actually need some of these lotuses because I have a. Let's see. Who need? Yeah, so my Tainari actually needs them to actually level up. But I believe I also have another character, Layla, here, who also needs it to level up. So that can be one. You need something that's found in the desert, so. And I don't really have any artifacts for you, so I'm sorry. Ooh. Ooh, did I actually get it? Oh, I got it. Yes, I did. Now, is that good enough of a replacement for you? Probably not the most ideal substats, but it's better to have a 5-star feather than not have one. Now let's see, did I get a 5-star? I did, but I think yours that's... God, I hate defense. We'll switch it to that, because at least we have at least 2 unknown stats, and one of them could be hopefully something useful. Holy moly. Ain't that just brutal? Alright. We got attack. Is that attack? Nope. Defense, of course. So the only thing about artifacts that I really hate about is... Not the only thing, but one of the things I really hate about artifacts is that there is... oh my goodness, I deeply apologize for that. Is that we have... defense is not a really useful stat for most characters, except for a Noel, who I showed you guys earlier, and Aratoki, or Ito Aratoki, which is a limited Geo 5-star Claymore user, who can pull out massive damage, but he's like the only other person that I know of that really can utilize defense in a positive manner. So... it's so annoying because defense is only usable on like 2 characters, but it's like once you go, like if you play the game, you will like notice that like every other substat will be like add defense, add flat defense, add defense percentage, and you're just
Stop.
like,
Don't move any further. Look there, in the distance.
Huh? Where? Oh, look! Those plants have withered! That whole area is kinda gloomy. Even the air looks like it's filled with ash. Oh, Paimon doesn't like the look of this.
That is the withering. All right, traveler. We're gonna have to enter that withering zone. Once inside, we'll need to look for what we call tumors of the withering. If we eliminate those, then the area will be saved.
Burn it all.
Thank you. But I must warn you, don't push yourself. This is your first time handling this sort of thing, after all.
Burn it all.
burn it all, bro. Okay. Alright, let's get back to it, boys.
Even with elemental powers, once you step inside the withering zone, you may experience extreme discomfort. If at any point it becomes too much, return outside the zone and take a breather. It could become a matter of life and death. You ready then? Let's go.
Let's do it.
First, we must locate any branches sustaining the withering zone. Propagate! Scatter! Spring forth!
That's right. Version.
I'll protect us.
Propagate!
Time for retribution!
That poor little fungus did not deserve that. Oh man, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Great work. Now that all the branches have been cleared, we'll need to take care of the tumor.
Ooh. You don't look too happy to see me, Bubba.
Let's go. Crazy.
Scatter!
Let's dance.
Now, destroy the tumor of the withering.
Dang, that it was. Holy Lord, that was quite powerful. There we go, boys. We defeated cancer.
Everything's returning to normal now.
Yes. Thanks to you two, we were able to quickly restore this area back to normal.
Tainari? You make it sound like we did well, but why does Paimon have the feeling you're worried about something?
It's that obvious, huh? All right. It's like this. Recently, the rate at which withering zones appear has been increasing. Even though we were able to quickly clear that withering zone, it won't be long before another one appears. If that simply meant more work for me, then that wouldn't be an issue. But it's far more severe than that. The withering is leaving lasting effects on the rainforest itself. For instance, even though we cleared out the withering zone, many of the plants that were affected will not recover. This presents a crisis for the ecosystem itself. Many plants in the rainforest are already in decline, directly impacting the wildlife that depends on those plants. And most disturbingly, as the appearances of withering zones have started to increase, Kale's case of Elazar has also become more serious.
Are they connected, perhaps? Hmm?
Huh? Well, why's that?
I'm still not sure of the exact reason. However, I've received word from acquaintances at the academia that similar cases are being reported for patients with other conditions.
Huh, interesting.
No, none that we know of. The withering has been recorded in Sumeru for millennia. It's said that it originates from the depths of the world. Oh, by the way, have you heard of Irminsul before? Irminsul is a tree located deep beneath the surface. Although it isn't like any tree we know in a biological sense, you can basically think of it as a large tree that grows downwards rather than upwards. I'm sure you've heard of ley lines, right? They're like the roots of Irminsul, spreading and extending from a massive cavern deep underground all the way up to the surface. Ley lines continually absorb the memories of this world, which are then funneled into Irminsul, allowing it to collect knowledge and wisdom from ancient times to present day.
Huh, interesting. Very interesting.
The Dendro Archon is known as the god of wisdom because her consciousness is directly connected to it. It is also said that the Dendro Archon's power is a manifestation of Irminsul.
Sorry, I'm just trying to check to see if my mic levels are evening out here real quick. Okay. Let's go.
And as for the Withering, its emergence is related to a disease that's affecting it. That's right. My ancestors learned of this from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's familiars a long time ago, but even those mysterious creatures did not know of a cure for Irminsul. I'm afraid we Rangers will be battling the Withering Zones here for a long time, until a cure is found. All right, that's enough on this topic for the time being. Now that we've taken care of things here, it's time for us to head back to Gandharvaville.
Man, there's no vines for me to swing around like Spider-Man. That would be great right now. Lord Almighty. Climb, climb, and more climbing, boys. Why won't it let me pet the dog?
Yesterday, a total of 5 dusk birds.
Oh, Tainari, you all made it back. How did it go?
The Withering Zone you reported has been taken care of. No need to worry. Huh? Wait, is that? Oh no, Hypatia!
That was a scholar that we found in the cave where we were knocked out. So, interesting. The plot thickens.
Huh? What's wrong, Tainari?
This Duskbird is Hypatia's designated courier for urgent news. You do remember her, don't you? She's the scholar you and Paimon were following when you first arrived in Sumeru.
Oh, her? How could we forget? So did something happen?
Let me see what's written in the letter first.
So what's it say? And what's with that weird expression on your face? Just let Paimon read it. All Paimon sees are 3 squiggly lines.
Yes. Allow me to explain. After we brought you from Hypatia's cave to Gandharvaville, Hypatia resumed her meditation.
As a scholar would want to do, obviously.
She must have just finished. It's been nearly 3 days since she's had anything to eat, and it appears she's forgotten to prepare some rations. This letter is her asking us for help. We need to go.
Alright then, I guess we're out to save a studious scholar's butt, baby.
What? You mean she's been sitting there for 3 days?
obviously because this has happened before. Last time she drew 5 lines, and by the time we found her, well, I prefer not to remember that. Needless to say, Hypatia's been through worse, but we should still get to her as quickly as possible. I've got some emergency rations set aside for times like these. Paimon, Traveler, could you two bring these to her?
Wait, you want us to bring her the rations? But will the Traveler be okay if her cave is still filled with that funny incense?
Let's find out. Here, Traveler, take a smell and see. So, how do you feel?
Huh? Really? You're not feeling even a little drowsy? But wait, how'd you know that he'd be okay this time, Kainari?
He probably didn't. He was just checking.
Back when we were clearing the Withering Zone, I observed that he could adeptly manipulate the Dendro element. I knew then that he would be fine. And if I may ask, when I was telling you two about Irminsul's ley lines, was what I described similar at all to what you saw when you were unconscious? That's correct. Those weren't hallucinations at all, though I don't intend to apologize for deceiving you.
Keep my eye on you, boy.
Because what you saw is of significant importance, not just for the nation of Sumeru, but the entire world of Tevat. My forefathers were shown much favor by Greater Lord Ruka Devata. We took an oath to protect this nation together with her. Now that that duty has fallen to me, it was a part of my responsibilities to ascertain whether you could be entrusted with the fate of Sumeru. Now, after seeing you in action with my own eyes, you have earned my confidence, and I no longer feel the need to hide any secrets from you. When you passed out, your consciousness had connected directly with Irminsul. What you witnessed were actually real memories contained within Irminsul itself.
Interesting. Quite interesting, don't you say?
I could try to tell you more, but it would be better if you went to ask Hypatia instead. Her focus on meditation and use of Spirit Borneal are aimed at establishing a connection with Irminsul, just as you did.
Appreciate the offer, but no thanks.
That sounds nice and all, but will she really help us? Seriously, she completely ignored us the last time we tried talking to her.
That was because when you ran into her, she was in a special phase of her training. During that time, she must avoid communicating with others. Please, wait here for a moment.
All right. Weird. I thought it was like about to do something really weird.
Here, take these. It's a meal I packed for Hypatia, as well as some other ingredients. I'm sure it'll come in handy. Also, here's a letter that I would like you to give to her. Just show it to her, and she'll answer any questions you may have. No,
Well,
I should be the one thanking you. You've both been a great help these last few days.
Alrighty, let's get a move on. Save this poor scholar from her intense meditations. Maybe we get something.
Kali's asleep. Let's come back once she's feeling better.
Agreed, Paimon. What would I mean? Yeah, Spider-Man. Oh no.
Hypatia should still be in the cave. Let's go inside and see how she's doing.
Okay.
Hello? Hypatia? Hey, there's nobody here.
It was a fake.
Maybe she went out to look for some food. Let's try looking around the area.
We've been duped. Did we get knocked out again? Come on. Oh, man.
There you are. Hypatia, are you all right?
So hungry. Need water.
There's no way we can get her to eat in her current condition. Let's try finding some water first. Huh? Wait. Why does it look super foggy outside all of a sudden? Anyway, let's go look around.
Well, we should probably clean the rations first. Or... Oh. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Toto.
So...
Man, dude, the fungal mushrooms, dude, they're just messing with us.
Huh? How did... What happened? And where are we? Really? Oh, maybe you're right. Let's go investigate the area.
Oh, we're about to fight, aren't we? Yes, we are.
Wow, this place is huge. Paimon knew there's something off about that cave. Let's think of a way to get over there and have a closer look. Who knows? Maybe we'll find a lead of some kind. Let the show begin.
Scatter!
There we go. Back, beast, back! I warned you. Alright, let's go from here. Oh, and... Alright, bouncy mushrooms. I'm trying to debate whether we should go explore now, or I have a feeling that we'll probably... Wait, there's a chest there. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Ah! Fudge muffins. Whoops. There we go. And there we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alright. I have a feeling that we're probably going to reach up there anyway, so we'll just go back down. Alright.
Yeah, Azuma. What are we doing there?
Huh? What happened just now? Why'd everything around us suddenly change?
This looks very similar to the house and where we helped Yayumiko with the painting. During her character quest. Interesting. What? I knew it. I knew it. I just knew it, man. There was something fishy about those mushrooms. What about this one? I have a sneaking suspicion that it probably shows it. Ooh. Some enemies.
I'll protect
My
us.
turn to play,
Go,
baby.
Barbara, go!
Propagate!
Holy smokes! That was some big chunk of damage right there. Holy cow!
Go, Barbara, go! Let the show begin.
Oh, there's a crowd guy right there. Dang it.
Dodge this!
Freaking.
I'll protect us. Hi, hi, hi.
Propagate!
Okay, I think I kind of found my new favorite rotation now. Holy god, that was so strong. So strong. Man. Just kibosh. Man, those enemies were just like toast. Just, whoo, bam. Oh, what's going on? I'm ascending to another higher plane of being. No. Oh, it's just dropping us off here, the thing that we need. Yes. Might have been, but I'm not. Oh, there we go. Yeehaw. Let's go, let's go. Alright. Oh, so we need 3. Oh, and there's the last one. How convenient. Ha! There we go. Let's go, let's go. Oh, there we go. Different dimension time.
What in Tibet is going on here? This place is getting weirder by the minute. Hey, what's the matter? You don't look so good.
This still has the trappings of Inazuma, but something's not quite right.
Huh. What's going on? Wait, what? Now it's a picture? Oh, Lord Almighty. Holy moly. Oh, and here we go again. Time traveling, dimension hopping. Who are... Wait.
Well. Looks like we meet again, traveler.
Well, this isn't good.
Miss Harold! What are you planning to do in this strange place?
Strange place. Plotting. You needn't worry about such things. They don't concern you. Bow before the abyss.
Let's dance.
Scatter! Ha! 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 Abyssal roar! Germinate!
Let the show begin.
Freeze!
Huh? Why can't we beat this guy? Oh, Paimon doesn't get it! We faced others like him before! What's wrong this time?
Traveler, though you may have managed to avert countless crises before, your good fortune was bound to end sooner or later. It's time you realize how weak and powerless you really are. Your sister. Oh, pitiful traveler. Are you really so ignorant? Or are you just living in complete denial? Her Highness has long since forsaken you. Your meager existence in her eyes is that of an annoying bug, only to be stepped upon. The bonds of love and family which drive you to find your sibling are utterly gone. Your journey is meaningless. But don't you fret now. Today will be your last. Now die!
What do we do? We haven't seen Hypatia anywhere out here.
Very interesting.
Oh, there she is! Quick, let's see how she's doing.
So sweet.
The fungus people are getting to us, man. They're trying to brainwash us, submit us to their gay agenda.
Well, the good news is that she's still conscious. Hey, why'd you drop her food on the floor like that? Are you okay? That's really not like you. Anyways, we can talk about this later. We better make sure she's alright first. Whoa, wait a sec. Look at all this fruit lying around her. We can put that to good use.
Who is there? Tainari, is that you? Huh?
It's okay. You can relax, Hypatia. Tainari sent us here to bring you some food and water. Here, we have a letter that he asked us to give you.
Yeah, how convenient.
I see. So, you're friends of Tainari. I apologize for all the trouble I've caused you. I'm grateful that you came so quickly to save me. You even brought all this fruit.
Well, actually, we didn't bring the fruit. It was already here when we arrived.
Yeah, I guess the fungal people aren't trying to spread the communist agenda, so we can relax on the conspiracy theory on the fungal people. Fungal people are okay.
We were kind of wondering about that, actually. When we found you here, there was all this fruit lying around and even some juice dripping from your lips. How did you end up like this anyway?
Oh, really? I seem to understand now. All the fruit was likely from my, neighbor. Must have come by and saw me like this.
Who's your neighbor? Tell me, who is he?
Your neighbor? You mean there's someone else living nearby?
Oh? So you're able to see them too?
Wait, hold on a second, Traveler. You say that before we arrived, you saw some mysterious creature and suddenly had a strange dream? Isn't that a little too crazy to believe?
I mean, for normal people, sure, but my experience with this story is that the Traveler is anything but normal.
No, I actually do believe what the Traveler is saying. I myself had a similar experience once before and ended up scaring my timid little neighbor here. You needn't worry. They mean you no harm. They only dragged you into the dream because they hoped to buy themselves a little time in order to scurry away.
So, Hypatia, just what kind of creature is your neighbor exactly?
I'm not sure what it's called, to be honest. But I do know that they have some sort of deeper connection with the Dendro Archon. I know this because the first time I saw them was also the exact day my consciousness was able to form a connection with Irminsul. Even after I opened my eyes and stopped meditating, my heart was still pounding, and my mind was racing with all the knowledge that I had touched. And at that very moment, I suddenly noticed a small figure at the opening of the cave. In my curiosity, I began to walk over to the creature. They must have already been used to me living in the cave, because they didn't seem to mind me approaching them. They just kept doing whatever they were up to. It wasn't until I crouched down next to them that they suddenly realized that I could see them.
Oh, and then?
And then I had a dream. By the time I came to, they were nowhere to be seen. I was convinced they'd never show up again. But sure enough, I saw them nearby a few days later. And they weren't alone. I feel like they aren't as afraid of me as the first time I approached them. But I never would have expected them to save me. Yes, no doubt about that. By the way, Tainari mentioned in his letter that you had questions for me regarding Irminsul.
You should probably eat first.
Sorry about that. Sounds like just drinking juice still isn't quite enough for my stomach.
You starved yourself for 3 days. What do you think?
Well, if need to prepare something ourselves.
Really loves her
Besides,
food.
Paimon's getting hungry too. Let's eat first and talk about Irminsul later.
Real salty about that food, eh, Paimon? There we go. That should be a little closer to my mouth and a little more natural for me so that I can also see the camera.
Alright, we're out, traveler. Today's menu will feature sweet madame and a radish veggie soup. You'll love them, Hypatia. They're our specialties after all.
We killed so many fowl. Of course, the sweet madame is our specialty. Come on, Paimon.
Sounds good. I've never tried any dishes from other nations before. I certainly look forward to it. It's been so long since I've had a decent meal, too. To be honest, the last time had to be when Tainari came to visit.
Alright, let's get a fire going. Hey.
All done. Let's use the empty box that Tainari gave us since we already watched it. Oh, it smells amazing. And the box is a nice touch, too. Let's go serve this up and start eating with Hypatia.
Let's do it. Just checking something in real quick. Okay, I think the voice should be good. I'm hoping it's much better than before.
Are you already finished cooking? Smells delectable. I'm truly thankful whenever I can enjoy a proper meal like this. Cooking really isn't my forte.
You don't say.
Even though everything you mentioned was in Tainari's letter, it's still hard to believe you were able to connect with Irminsul immediately after smelling Spiritborn Ale for the first time. It took me nearly 3 years before I could do so. And everyone at the Academia even lauded me as a genius. You should know that some researchers spent their entire lives without ever successfully connecting with Irminsul as you have.
So why does this incense allow people to connect to Irminsul?
The ingredients used to make Spiritborn Ale primarily consist of plants created by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. These special ingredients are conducive to heightening our senses to the Dendro Archon's power. Since the root of the Dendro Archon's power lies within Irminsul, we can occasionally tap into her powers to peer into the depths of the earth.
So, in other words, you're using what the old Dendro Archon used to connect to the tree root that the current Dendro Archon is connected to. Alright, makes sense to me.
Naturally, anyone who can establish a connection with Irminsul in their first ever attempt must be a person of great understanding.
Well, we are an interdimensional and interstellar traveler, so I would kind of hope that our understanding would be pretty high.
Makes sense. But Paimon's got a question. Why was he sensitive to the smell of those plants for such a long time?
That was primarily due to his body's unique constitution. Stimulated by the incense, he could perceive the Dendro Archon's power and experienced a sensory overload, hence the adverse reactions.
A little far. Bring it in. Alright, I think we got it.
Taking in any scent similar to the ingredients of Spiritborn Ale would cause adverse effects.
Issues before going live, man. And I think we finally nailed it.
Not to worry, though. It appears you've already fully recovered. Technically, your body should still be sensitive to the powers of the Dendro Archon, but unless you're using intentional meditation techniques, the scent of spirit-born ale should no longer trigger such reactions.
Whew. Well, that's a relief.
I must admit, I am quite envious of your abilities. Even if it meant suffering from pounding headaches for the rest of my life, I'd consider it worthwhile so long as I could connect with Irminsul at will.
Whoa, you're really serious about this whole thing, aren't you?
I am a researcher after all. As a member of the Ritaoist Archon at the Academia, my main area of research is the stars and their connection to the fate of living beings. But there is still so much we don't know, especially regarding the mysteries that lie in the starry skies.
Another thing that I kind of keep seeing in Genshin is the stars and what they represent and things like that, which I find quite fascinating, because what it suggests is, because on one hand, I'll just keep playing along, but I just want to say I do find it quite interesting that we keep seeing the reference to studying the stars as a very key component of the game lore.
Which is why I must turn to the all-knowing Irminsul for answers.
There we go. I think that is a... Sorry, I'm just keep adjusting the mic here, just trying to make sure that my audio levels are and the mic are pretty natural to my... picking up my natural tones and voices here real quick, because I was noticing throughout the beginning of the stream it would only hit it when I was very, very, very close. But now it seems like it's going pretty smoothly.
If only my perception wasn't so limited. Unfortunately, I cannot guarantee that my every attempt to attune with Irminsul will be successful, or that doing so will leave my consciousness intact.
Gotta admit, this is getting kind of annoying.
I am currently in the stage of training known as Satyavada life. Many researchers in Sumeru have lost their minds while seeking to attune with Irminsul during this stage. Sages have said that Irminsul contains divine knowledge, and touching such knowledge without the proper preparations and abilities will only lead to one's mind caving in on itself.
Well, that's their opinion, man.
That's why we meditate alone. We need to ensure that our minds will be calm while minimizing the possibility of involving anyone else.
Whoa, so knowledge from Irminsul can be super dangerous. Don't you ever feel afraid of the risk, Hypatia?
Of course I do. Especially during nights that are pitch black with no moonlight, and dead silent without even the sound of insects.
That's probably a good sign of danger.
However, I've been feeling better as of late. I don't get as scared anymore knowing that I have a little neighbor living nearby. I believe that being able to see them is a sort of blessing from the Dendro Archon. But what's strangest of all is that they're clearly an envoy of the God of Wisdom herself. And they have the curious power to make people dream.
What's so strange about that? It doesn't sound so out of place for a divine being, does it?
Well, it's strange because nearly nobody in Sumeru can ever dream.
Oh, is that true?
Yes, well, to an extent. Only children can dream in Sumeru. Adults, however, never do. The sages say that wisdom implies rationality, but that which occurs in dreams is often neither rational nor logical. Yes, if one struggles with anxieties, those emotions could influence their dreams. The fact that the people of Sumeru do not have dreams is seen as a blessing by the sages. They believe that Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, the god of wisdom, is keeping us away from the foolish delusions you encounter in your sleep.
That's kind of sad.
I was born into a family of scholars in Sumeru City. Ever since I was a child, my parents would always tell me that I'll know I've grown up once I stop dreaming.
That is a little unfortunate. Now that if you really think about it, it is really unfortunate.
I studied hard, enrolled as a student in the academia, and went on to become a researcher. Sure enough, I never dreamed again. But then, on the day I scared the little Aranara, I suddenly saw a dream again. It was incredible. Though I don't exactly remember what I saw, I clearly recalled the feeling. I suddenly felt like I was a child again. Back then, I was foolish and ignorant as any youth would be, but I was free of fear. Maybe dreaming isn't as bad as we've made it out to be. Just be sure not to speak of this if you travel to Sumeru City. They'll look at you as if you've lost your mind.
So, do you have any thoughts about the things he saw when he connected with Irminsul?
Sorry. I'm afraid I don't have any answers as of now. All I can say is that what you saw is a memory contained within Irminsul itself. World forget me. What could that possibly mean? If only I could ascend past Satyavada life and begin Paripurna life. I might have some more answers for you. If you two are ever in the area again, please be sure to come and see me. There's no need to be thanking me. You two are my saviors. Besides, I'm already looking forward to tasting some more of your cooking.
Now that we know Hypatia is alright and had the chance to ask her some questions, Paimon thinks it's about time to head back to Gandharvaville.
Heading out, I see? If there's anything else you'd ever like to ask about, you know where to find me. Even though that little neighbor of mine was able to induce a state of dreaming, I doubt they were able to control the actual contents of the dream.
I would hope so. Because if they could, well... Ooh.
The end of your dream seemed quite terrifying. Perhaps there's something that's troubling you deep inside? Not to worry, though. I'm sure you'll be able to handle whatever comes your way in the real world. As someone from Sumeru who cannot dream, I needn't ever worry about nightmares. But lately, I've started to feel that I'm somehow missing something without dreams. It's a little hard to explain. Heading out, I see? If there's anything else you'd ever like, Sumeru researchers use Spirit-Born Ale to assist them in connecting with Irminsul to extract knowledge from it. Though the process can be risky, we believe that the knowledge gained is worth it. Unfortunately, I cannot help you understand your dream. At least not yet. I'm still learning how to attune to the depths of Irminsul myself. I hope that I'll be able to ascend past Satyavada life and gain deeper insights. Heading out, I see? If there's anything else you'd ever like to ask about, you know where to find me.
Getting to the end of probably a part of one of the acts of the Archon quest, because it is when usually you'll get some kind of interactive dialogue kind of similar to this when you're towards the end of it, because these are usually repeatable questions that are kind of important to understand the lore, but I guess the programmers of the game didn't really think about how you can naturally go about it other than just the player going back to the first question branch and having the NPC repeating the same lines over and over again.
I've heard local children here in the rainforest speaking of fairy-like creatures. But I'm from Sumeru City and have never heard of such things when I was a child. Perhaps this is because I had a very strict upbringing. My parents would seldom allow me to play with other children. I doubt they'd ever believe me if I told them about my little neighbor out here. And speaking of my little neighbor, I think they can somehow sense when Tainari is coming to visit me. I've noticed on several occasions that as they're playing under the trees, they'll suddenly tense up and scamper away for no apparent reason. Shortly after they do this, Tainari always shows up here. Perhaps I should ask Tainari about this the next time I see him. Heading out, I see? If there's anything else you'd ever like to ask about, you know where to find me. Take care. Do remember to come visit anytime you're in the area. I would be happy to chat with you.
And that little star twinkling thing has been bothering me the entire cutscene, so I'm gonna take it. Of course, some random ancient temple inside a cave, potato and wheat. Nothing useful, just potato and wheat. Alright, come on, reach it, reach it. Ooh.
Think about it, Tainari. Refusing to join is tantamount to burying your head in the sand. I understand that you're a forest watcher and that it's your duty to combat the effects of withering zones. But isn't it evident that such work is not a lasting solution to the problem? As Sage Kage clearly stated, your presence and guidance in Sumeru City is pivotal in finding a cure for Irminsul. How could you possibly refuse?
Keep your emotions in check, Ghulam. Let's at least listen to Tainari's reason for declining. We're here to invite him to the Academia, not to cause a scene.
Sage Kage, I am truly honored that you came here in person, but I'm afraid I must still decline your invitation. I am merely a forest watcher. How could the great minds of the Haravatat have any need of someone like me?
Well, it turns out that your refusal letter had some implications on your master's reputation. He is a renowned sage of the Immorta, after all. So now I've come here in his stead.
I see. Well, I figured that given his temper, he would come here and berate me personally.
Tainari, your master is an integral part of this effort. And now he requires your assistance.
And what exactly does my master need of me, Sage Kage?
You'll know once you've arrived in Sumeru City, that is.
It's all hush-hush. It's like a CIA operation. No good could come from it.
And, how long will I be required to stay?
There's no definite answer as of now.
Do you mean to tell me that despite coming all the way here to Gandharvaville, you still can't answer the questions I laid out in the letter to my master? If that's the case, then I'm afraid I cannot give you a definite answer either.
Tainari, but you...
So be it. Come, Ghulam, we're leaving.
Why is that one guy wearing a laurel wreath?
Tainari, what was that?
It's nothing. Some people from the Academia wanted me to go to Sumeru City to assist them with a project, but I had to refuse on account of all my responsibilities here. But all that can wait. How did things go with Hypatia?
It was quite the eventful trip, but the main thing is that she's safe and sound. She answered a bunch of questions for us, too.
Very good. Now that the Traveler has made a full recovery, there shouldn't be any reason for you to tarry here longer. I assume you will be heading to Sumeru City, correct?
That's right! We want to meet Lesser Lord Kusanali and ask her for advice.
Sorry, I'm afraid I don't have any advice for you there.
Well, do you at least know anyone we can try asking in Sumeru City?
Let me think. My trips to Sumeru City have been fairly short, and most of my acquaintances are researchers. Oh, how about this? I'll write you a letter of introduction that you can give to a researcher I know. He's from the Immorta Darshan and is adept at gathering information. Asking him might prove worthwhile. Also, when you enter Sumeru City, you'll probably end up receiving something like this item here. I'm not sure if it will ever come in handy for you, but maybe you can give it a try.
Oh? What is it?
It's called an Akasha Terminal. It's a tool produced by the Academia that utilizes the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Some say that this item is the very basis of Sumeru's reputation as the City of Wisdom. Needless to say, this device and its usage fall under the Academia's expertise, so I'll leave it to them to show you how to use it.
Great! Next up, Sumeru City! But wait, before that. That's right! Tainari, we have something important to say to Kale before we leave. Is she doing better now?
Yes, she's doing much better. After being confined to her bed all this time, I thought a little walk would do her some good. Last I saw her, she was taking the path towards the North Crossing. She knew you two would be leaving soon, so she must have wanted to see you off.
Thanks, Tainari. All right, let's go!
Farewell, and good luck to you both.
All right. Let's leave.
I've been waiting for you two. Never mind. I guess I should just wish you two a safe and successful journey.
Thanks for waiting here just to see us off, Kale. We're headed to Sumeru City.
Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself. My condition won't be getting in the way of my duties. I want to be a forest ranger after all. It's up to me and the others to protect the rainforest here. And, I'm sorry. I should have told you both about my condition when we first met. I just wanted you two to treat me as a normal friend, not some girl that needs your sympathy. But I guess now I understand that the most important thing is for friends to be genuine with one another.
There's no need to apologize, Kale. We should be thanking you for trusting us enough to be your friends and sharing your past with us. We're probably still gonna worry about your condition, but that's because we're friends and we care about you.
Thank you. That means a lot. Before you leave, I have something for you.
Oh? What is it?
It's my recipe for pita pockets. I told you that I'd give you a copy, remember? My handwriting is a little, messy, so please don't laugh.
Yay! Thanks, Kale. Now we can eat those scrumptious little pitas whenever and wherever we like.
They know. Why, Kale? Why? What have I done to you?
I hope that whenever you eat them, you'll both remember your time here in Gandharvaville. Well then, I, trainee Forest Ranger Kale, bid you both farewell. Please visit Gandharvaville again. The Rangers will always be ready to assist you here.
I'm just gonna take a quick check real quick. You know, I'm just taking a look over here. I've been streaming for about 3 hours and 14 minutes. I think this might be a good place to stop. So you know what? I think we're gonna call it a night, and I'm gonna get off of this. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and I do hope that you enjoyed my stream. If you were watching, I do hope that you. I will continue next week. I am planning on probably doing this again. I may be streaming again tomorrow to do Honkai Star Rail's patch 1.6 continuance of the Trailblaze quest with the introduction of Round May. So keep that in. So just be on the lookout for that, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Peace.